I'm here with the Viking of Warkings to talk about Armageddon, their
Yeah,
latest record that comes out July 4th on Napalm Records. Such a pleasure to see you again. It's been a long, long time.
yeah, it's been a very long time. It's been, yeah, I don't know, 3 years, something like that. About 3 years, man. That's a long time nowadays.
Yeah, it is a very long time. It is a very long time. Uh, this album, let's start with the title of this record because I thought you guys were following a cool sequence of like rebirth, revenge. Like there was a nice little pathway that you guys built with your titles. The last one, Morgana, was a little bit more outside of that pathway that the first three records had, and this one hits us with Armageddon. Is it the times that we're living in is kind of reminding you of the end of the world? Is that what inspired the title of this record?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, yeah. You could say so. Yeah, we had like it was the other way around. We wanted to write about some events in the past in history that at that time when they happened changed history. Like the Armageddon is about the Viking raid on the monastery of Lindisfarne that started the Viking Age, or we have a song about the Battle of Gaugamela, which where Alexander the Great defeated King Darius III and ended the old Persian Empire. And we thought that people, there's not only winners, so people involved in these events, for some people it was like the end of the world. So we came up with Armageddon. And then you look around in the world today and you think, this could be something like that.
It could be, yeah. You're right. We're kind of like for some people right now, it feels like the end of the world, I must say.
So sad as it sounds, it's like that. It's like that, yeah. So it was kind of like, we said like, okay, it has two meanings, so let's go with it. And we run out of words with RE. It was reborn, revenge, a revolution, and then we were like,
Revolution.
yeah,
Yeah, it was you guys have run the course with that trilogy of RE and the start of the title of the records, that's for sure. When you look at this album, you guys now have experience of knowing what works, what doesn't work for the band, for what you want your sound to be. So when it came down to writing Armageddon, was this an easier album to write, giving the experience that the previous records have given you?
yeah. It was because during the pandemic we did an album like every year. So the last one, Morgana, we brought it out 1 year after Revolution, and that was also kind of like, to be honest, some business decisions because we went on a big tour with Powerwolf. So it was like you have to have an album out and anything. So that wasn't an easy one, and we weren't really pleased with it. So now we had the time. It's like 2.5 years, something like that, from Morgana now, and we had the time. We played a lot of concerts. So during touring, being on stage, you see what works, what doesn't work, and so that was way easier. We were more, we had more power to do it, and we changed a lot of stuff within the songwriting and everything. We invited friends and stuff, so it was kind of like way easier than the last one.
That takes me to my next point, which is this album does have quite a few cameos, not just Morgana's vocals, but like a few cameos. And I thought that was interesting because interesting for two reasons. One, I thought you guys did a phenomenal job placing those songs not in a cluster together, but placing them throughout the record. In my opinion, makes the album better because you get a little bit of a treat here, then you get a little bit of a treat there, then a little bit of a treat down there. So I thought from an album design standpoint, it works really well, but it also works really well in the songs themselves. Like you guys are bringing a little bit of extra spice. Is this something that now you foresee perhaps in the future going back to it and having some friends on some tracks?
Yeah, it was just, when we started writing the record, we didn't want to repeat ourselves after four records, and to have fresh blood. So first thing we did was we asked other musician friends of ours come write songs with us. Do you want to write songs with us? So we wrote some songs on the record with other musicians, and then we had friends like Arden Ogan, who are the singer is on one song, or Dominum or Subway to Sally, and we just asked them, "Come on, let's do it together. You want to sing with us?" And yeah, like you said, we're still old guys and we still like albums, we still like 10 listening to 10 songs in a row and that tells a story and everything. We know it's streaming, we know you have to have, you have playlists and all that stuff, but still I love to listen to King Diamond and listen to the stories and listen to the whole album or whatever, and so that's why we placed it over the whole record just to make it, make it interesting, make it, you find something interesting even at the end of the record.
I have to ask you this question because we brought you guys up in a video that we did on the channel. When we did the Templars video, Sabaton, we brought the fact that you guys should have been invited to be in that video. At the very least, the Templar should have been in that video. Do you feel like you guys could have added something extra to that song? Because I thought you guys would have been such a perfect little cameo for them to have on one of their tracks. Has there ever been a conversation of a collaboration between both bands?
No, no, that's not the case. But the fun thing is that our next single that comes out July 2nd is about the Templars. And we brought a single about Genghis Khan. And so the first single from Sabaton was about the Templars and the second was about Genghis Khan. And we didn't know that from each other. So that was kind of like, like they did a song about the Templars, now we do one. But the songs were recorded like months ago, so that wasn't planned. But we have one song on the record. We wrote it with a guy called Ken Kangström. The song is called
Yeah, I know
Queen.
who he is from Follow the
Follow the
Cipher.
Cipher, yeah, and he also writes songs with Sabaton, but we didn't know, and there was never talk about the collaboration. But the first time I saw that Sabaton had a song about the Templars, I was like, oh no, we have one too.
And we were watching the video, and I turned to my son. And I'm like, "Fuck, Warkings should have been on this video. Like, what the fuck? Like, they should have been here. They're perfect. First of all, they're dead already, so it's not like you can kill them any further. And I think it would have been such a great little cameo between the bands. And anyways, that's just me. I think of these things all the time.
Yeah, maybe when we meet him sometime, we will ask them. Maybe we can do something together.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe if you guys are at the same festival together, do a little bit of a cameo on one of the songs or something like that. Speaking of collaborations, Morgana has, in my opinion, a bigger role on this album vocally. I mean, she even gets kind of like her own song and everything on this record.
Yeah.
Where did that inspiration come from to give her a little bit more of the spotlight and not necessarily using her just as a backup vocalist?
With the last record called Morgana, and we told the story of from the viewpoint of Morgana, of the half sister of King Arthur, and then on that record we wanted to do more growls, so we had her kind of like a guest. It was never, she was just, we invited her on the record. And then we went on tour together and we did one tour and another tour and festivals and another. And we grew together. And then we asked her to join the band. And she's like a permanent member now. We asked her to join the band. And when we started writing the record, it was just, she, she's phenomenal. She can not only do harsh vocals, she has a phenomenal voice, and that voice is very different from the Tribune. So yeah, it was just natural to incorporate her more at places where it fit perfectly. And yeah, she's with us now all the time. Now we have a witch in the band. Kind of sucks. So
No, I think it's cool. I think the fact that you
no,
guys.
it's perfect. Yeah, but we have a crusader who wants to burn the witch all the time. So
Yes, it is
so
true too. Well,
yeah.
it creates it's like that family dynamics, you know what I mean? Where, a sibling rivalry, if you will.
Ah, that's the right that's the right thing to say. We're like siblings, we fight, we love each other, we hate each other all the time, but in the end now we're four kings and a witch, and she's the perfect fit. You grow together when you're on tour, you get to know someone really good when
Mhm.
you're in like small rooms, small space and everything, and it just fits perfectly, and her voice is just getting better like every time, we hear it. And that's why we put Armageddon as first single because she's phenomenal on that one.
Yeah, yeah, she's really good on this record. I honestly, I felt like you guys really nailed it, not just with her, but like I said, with the other guests that you guys have on the album. You guys really nailed it. Not just the songs, but then where you place the songs on the track listing, I thought was really well done in order to create nice little pockets of change so that the album doesn't feel repetitive or like it's the same album all the way through. This gives the album a lot more life. I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff. As you, I like to listen to a whole record from start to finish.
Yeah, yeah, that was the whole idea. That's why we put some small intros,
Yeah, some interludes.
into
Yeah,
the interludes into the record, just to, if you're a guy or a girl who wants to listen to a whole record, you can do it, and it's not getting boring, But if you want to pick one song for that's what we think. If you pick one song for your playlist, it also works.
yeah, I agree 100% with you. Do you feel like that ability to have that flexibility between the full length album and the singles, is that the greatest attribute of this album, or is there something on this record that you think is really going to resonate with the fans?
Yeah, we worked hard on exactly that. We worked hard on to on one hand make a whole record, make it really like you can listen to it for 45 minutes. And then also you can pick this song or that song, whatever you like, and put it on your playlist. So that yeah, that's what we worked on. So it was what we wanted to do. Yeah.
Are you guys on a creative, when it comes to the creative side of things, are you guys as collaborative as ever? Is this really a group effort when it comes to writing a new record?
Yeah, and yeah, yeah. As much as we like work together, we fight about every note and everything, and everybody brings his ideas in, and then it's like you like this one more and that you don't like. But we had a new producer on that record. It wasn't the same guy, so we changed the producer. That was also one thing we wanted to do. And because we wrote songs with other musicians and we had so many ideas, we needed someone like a mastermind who took care of like a little bit from the outside to take care of that it's still Warkings. And yeah, it's a group effort with one mastermind, and that was the producer.
It's interesting that you say that because the album, it has a different sound to it. It still sounds like Workings, don't get me wrong, but it's a sound that I didn't hear in any of the previous albums. It has some more defined elements to it. It breathes better. So is that the impact of having somebody new behind the helm, if you will?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that was really the reason why we wanted someone new. To be honest, our old producer, Eike Fraser, who did 4 records with us, he's a phenomenal guy. He suggested to get someone new, after 4 records. He's like, hey guys, you did 4 records in kind of like 4 years. Why not just look around and maybe get fresh blood, and something like that. And that was like, yeah, we had a new producer who was really involved also in the songwriting. And then we went to a different guy, to Jacob Hansen in Denmark, who did the mix and the mastering. We wanted it to, yeah, it sounds silly, but we wanted it to sound more like a Hollywood movie, like make it big, make it,
No,
make
it
it,
does. It sounds more theatrical, I think I would go
yeah.
as far as to say that. It has a big arena sound to it.
Exactly. That's the better description. See, you're better in that than I am. So yeah, yeah, but that's theatrical arena. Yeah, just make it big. Yeah. I'm
Which,
simple. I
which
simple.
is works really well because the songs are very theatrical from a theme standpoint, from a lyrical standpoint. So creating a sound that brings those stories to life in a much better way, I think it really works better for you guys all around.
Yeah, good to hear. Thank you. Yeah, that's what we wanted. That's really what we wanted to do. That was like that. So we never worked as long as on this record. We started in 2023 with the songwriting, and we finished it this January this year.
Wow.
So we it took like 14 months
So was
all in
this
all.
the most demanding album for you guys when it came to putting it all together?
Yeah, because we went on tour in between. We did our first own headlining tour in spring 2024. Then we did a lot of summer festivals. Then we went back to the studio to record. Then we did a winter tour with Subway to Sally, and then we finished the record, like I said, in January. And it was really, it was demanding, but we wanted to do it that way. We wanted to make it happen, and it worked. And now I can say we're really proud of it.
Yeah, you should be. It is a great record. You mentioned the touring. So with the album coming out July 4th, how does the touring look like after the album release?
Right now, we're doing summer festivals. I mean, we started a couple of weeks ago. We're doing many major big European festivals, small ones, big ones. We just played Grass Pop, one of the biggest ones in
In
Belgium.
Belgium.
Yes, we kind of like opened for Iron Maiden, which is like a bucket list item, for every musician to do. And yeah, that's until the mid of August. We're only playing festivals, like I don't know, 20 festivals, whatever. And then we have a short break, and then we go on our co-headlining tour with Visions of Atlantis in February next year. It's like
Wow.
4 weeks. It's called Pirates and Kings, obviously, if you know Visions of Atlantis. um, with the pirate theme, we call it Pirates and Kings. And so that's what's planned. And then yeah, then we let's see what happens. We want to come over to US and Canada. We are planning this for a couple of years now, but then obviously you couldn't tour, and now we want to make it happen. We don't
Yeah,
know if
because
it
it's been five records and you guys, well, five records now, and you guys haven't been to this side yet. Visions of Atlantis, for that matter, they're here all the time.
yeah,
Those pirates are docking their ship on our
yeah,
shores
yeah.
constantly. So maybe they
So,
can bring you guys on a future trip
yeah, that's yeah. There's talks about we have this Pirates and Kings thing we do in Europe, and we're talking right now to find a spot to come to US and Canada.
Wow, that would be amazing. Honestly, that would be amazing. I would super excited about that possibility because it would be a great bill of both bands together with a very similar fan base across both. I think that would be sweet.
Yeah, but we're trying. We just have to find, with two bands, but Visions are touring a lot, and I
There.
think they're actually right now making a new record, and it's hard to find to match the schedules of both bands, and we're so happy we could match it for next year. Because the Pirates and Kings thing, that was a backstage joke like for 3 years now. We're good friends with the band since years, and every time we meet each other, we go like, hey, we have to do Pirates and Kings, and now we can do it. And now we're talking about bringing it to the US. That would be awesome.
I think that would be awesome. Now, let me ask you a little bit about yourself. When it comes to, because we talked in general about what this record was, but when it comes to your sound, to what you bring to the table, how was this album for you? Do you feel a little bit more satisfied with what you did, with what you delivered?
Oh yeah, very much. With Morgana, everything on the last album was kind of like, you know, hard. Like, it was the third album in 3 years, and we had to do it because we went on tour with Powerwolf, like I said, and it took me a very long time to finish my bass lines on that album, and I wasn't really I wasn't really happy with the sound and everything. It was good. It's good for what it is. But on the new one, it is like, you know, the songs were so well written, and the ideas came so good together. So it was very easy to have it, and I'm very, very satisfied and with also with my bass sound and how the bass is integrated into the whole sound. And yeah, Jacob did an awesome job. And yeah, this time it was easy. It was hard to write because we were fighting all the time, but it was easy to record.
So let me ask you this: what was the thing that you guys fought about the most?
Everything. Like like yeah, it's just it's mostly boring musician stuff. Yeah, no, no, don't play this chord, play that one. No, I like this better. I have a chorus idea. We should do it like this way. And then the guitar player is like, nah, I should do it like that. And like make the make the solo 8 bars. No, I want 16 bars. No, we make it 8 bars. Like, that's mostly we fight about music stuff, and 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 that's the whole point on the thing. But it makes you creative also, and it has like you have to accept other ideas, and you learn that, and that's why we had a producer because he was the guy, when it gets too wild, who said, "Shut the fuck up, we do it like this." So
He
he
was
had
the
the last.
judge.
He was the judge, and we agreed at the beginning that he is the guy who has the last word. And he said to us, he said the first thing he said to us, if we do this together, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt you because I will say no, no, no. So most of the time he said no, but it worked out great.
No, it worked out great. It worked out great. I think the record, I mentioned to you this before we started recording. I think this is the strongest album you guys have released since Rebirth. You know how much I love that debut record. I think it's just an outstanding debut album. And I think this album, while it doesn't sound like Rebirth, is as good as Rebirth, if that makes sense. It's not like you guys copy the formula. This album sounds different, but it's as good as that album was.
Yeah, the debut album that wasn't thought through at all. That was just like four guys getting together and let's do what we love. We don't care if everybody else will ever. Actually, to be honest, we never thought that anybody would like this. We just wanted to make music, without something in mind, like we have to do it like this to, sell records or get a record deal or whatever. We just did what we wanted to do. And and then worked out. And this record was the other way around. We really thought that through. We wanted to get it bigger, to make the songs more on point. And yeah, I get what I know what I know what you want to say, and it hits the nail on the head, if I can say so.
Yeah, and you guys definitely hit the nail on the head with Armageddon coming out July 4th on Napalm Records. Once again, thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure to see you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And I hope to see you guys either at a festival at some point in time or at a show. I travel to Europe a lot, so I'm always looking out to see dates and stuff like that. Because I need to see Warkings live. I haven't done that yet, so
Yeah.
I need to do that.
And thanks for your time. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope to see you somewhere on a festival. We're gonna make that happen. And if not, we're gonna come to Canada, and then you have to be
Oh,
there.
if you guys come to Toronto, I'm going to be there for sure, 100%. I mean, that's not even a question. I'm not missing it.
Yeah, we're gonna make that happen. I really want to go.
Yeah, you guys need to make it happen. All the best.
All the best to you.